Hi, this is Kat at inkingpaperwithkat.com. Welcome to my craft room. Today's project is a little box that is designed to hold Tic Tac gum. And it's in a beautiful green color. The one inside of here is red. The supplies you need are a piece of DSP that is 6 by 5 inches. This is Signs of Santa from Stampin' Up's 2018 holiday catalog. You'll also need a scrap of one of the sheets in that package that has images of Mrs. Claus and elves and signposts. We're going to die cut one of the little elves. You'll need a scrap of Whisper White. We are using the Christmas Traditions Stamp and Punch. Now this comes as a set. It's called Christmas Traditions. It comes in a tin. I believe it also comes with some ink spots and something else. But we're using the Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. We'll also be using the detailed trio punched around the corners, and some ribbon and some twine. So let's get started making our project. The first thing we're going to do is score our box. And if you put it in on the 6-inch side, which is the longer of the two, let me zoom back out so you can see that. You are going to score at 3/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/2. Turn it to the short side and you are going to score at 3/4 and at 3 3/4. Alright, now this is a narrower piece than this. This is the top of the box. If you are using directional paper like this, where the images need to go a certain direction, make sure that the top is to your right. This is the bottom of the box. Alright, let's fold and burnish this. And you could get 4 of these little boxes out of a single sheet of DSP. Okay. Alright, now let's do some trimming. So you want to cut up with the bottom, you're going to cut up each of these score lines. And on these 2 small tabs, oops, I didn't cut one of them, you are going to wedge in. This one you're going to remove and you're going to take a slight wedge. That's going to be the tab. Alright, on the top of the box you're going to do pretty much the same thing. Cut up each of those score lines. We are going to wedge. So your box is going to go like this. Now I'm going to leave these flaps on for the simple reason that that kind of helps keep people from peeping in, and we do know at Christmas time, especially children like to peek if they can. but you don't have to. You could take those off if you would prefer. Before we assemble our box though, we want to round the corners. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our detailed trio punch and we are going to round the corners on both of these large flaps, and you will have to fold things out of your way to get it in. Let's do it this way. Gets a little bulky. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to punch a little hole, and we're going to use this little hole right in the middle. So the way that I do that is I literally take this and a pencil and I just use my grid paper, but you could use a ruler. It's a 2-inch width, so at 1 inch I just put a little dot. And I do the same thing on the other side. I turn my punch over with the dot facing up. I slide this in until I can see it. And when I see it and it's straight and it's right in the middle, I just push down. And there you can see. And I do the same thing on the other side. Okay, there's my dot. And there is my little hole for my ribbon. You could do the same thing with a hole punch. It all depends on what you want to do and what you have available. If all you have is a handheld hole punch, use that. If you have a crocodile, use that. It really doesn't make any difference which ones you go for. Alright, let's put our box together. We're going to use tear and tape. And we're just going to run it along the edge. Cut that excess off. And let's find the front of our box. This will be the front. We're going to put some tear and tape on this. And I put 2 strips just because Tic Tacs are, I don't know, a little bit heavy, and this is just DSP, so it could come loose if you don't. Alright, now let's grab a piercing tool. We'll take our release paper off of the tab, fold it over, and adhere it down. Tuck in your sides and your back. Take off your release paper. And then you just need to make sure this is squared up. Okay. And then we tuck in our little Tic Tacs, fold down those little flaps, and line those up. And I'm going to use a piece of garden green ribbon this time. And I'm going to angle cut this so I have a point. And I'm going to feed one in through the two little holes. And now you can tie this together with twine, or you could also just tie it in a knot or tie it in a bow. It's whatever works for you. I'm going to tie it off with a little piece of twine. I obviously cut more ribbon than I needed. I'm going to put a little bow in my twine. I tend to use bows especially when there are things for children. When you use a knot and they've got to figure out how to get it off, they're not always the most patient at Christmas time, and I like to keep things simple for them. Okay, let's just trim these ribbons. All right. Let's work on our decoration. We have a tag and we have a little elf. So let's work at getting the little elf out. Signs of Santa has a matching framelits that are called Santa's Signpost Framelits. I believe it comes as a bundle. If you buy both, you get 10% off. And those framelits will cut out these different characters. So for example, here's the signpost, and it would cut that out. There's one that cuts out Mrs. Claus. But there's two, one for each of the little elves. And we want the little elf wearing green. Yep, that's the right one. So let's get the big shot. And you need your magnetic platform, a cutting plate, your paper, your framelit. And get it positioned around your little elf. Top plate. Whoops. He slipped off. Let's get a piece of washi tape. Get this positioned again. And just a little piece of washi tape. Okay. Top plate. Run it through. This. And there is your little elf. All right, let's take our scrap of Whisper White, Garden Green ink, and have a Holly Jolly Christmas stamp. And then we are going to use the Christmas Traditions punch. And you're just going to center it. And all of the stamps that come with it obviously are meant to go with this punch since it comes as a kit. And the other sayings are, may your season be merry and bright, sending Christmas wishes, jingle all the way, peace and joy, heaven and let heaven and nature sing. So it's a nice little selection. All right, now we are going to use dimensionals to attach everything. Now you see on this one that I just attached it to the top rather than punching a hole and creating a tag. You could do that. That would totally work. You could just create a little tag and hang it from the top. But for me, I just wanted to angle it off and keep it at the angle I wanted. And then our little elf is going to sit right on here. Like that. And there you have it. A very simple, easy Tic Tac holder. It would work with regular Tic Tacs and it works with Tic Tac gum. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you soon.